Well, thank you, Madam Speaker. I rise today at a bittersweet time in my career here in Congress because it's a time I get to bid farewell to somebody who's been with me since day one. And because she has floor privileges, she's sitting behind me right now and is going to be very embarrassed because I'm going to talk about her. As you can see here, this is my longtime Chief of Staff and Staff Director of the House Administration Committee, Jen Dalby, and her daughter, Reagan, standing in the Capitol Rotunda. I first met Jen in Illinois when she was a young intern for the state of Illinois one summer, and little did I know that a few years later, I would be running a campaign for my former boss, Congressman John Shimkus, and I would hire a field office manager who just graduated law school to work out of our Collinsville, Illinois campaign office. And I realized very, very quickly she had opinions of her own. Something in political campaigns sometimes are a little difficult because, you know, as a campaign manager, I wanted to be right all the time. But she always taught me, get this stuff done, get me the information I need so I can do my job. Jen Dalby sitting behind me was a pain in my butt during that campaign. Fast forward, we got a chance to work together in the Shimkus Congressional Office. Then she went on to bigger and brighter things, working for then Chairman Goodlatte on the House Ag Committee. And then to top it off, she had to work for Jim Sensenbrenner, Chairman Sensenbrenner, on the Judiciary Committee. And then, you know, as luck would have it, in 2012, I won the closest Republican victory in the nation. Jen was already making a name for herself in the private sector, but she wanted to come back to the Hill and be a chief of staff. I remembered how painful she was to work with when we worked together on that campaign. And I just threw her in as an interview because I knew her. If there was a fifth slot and I was only interviewing 4, she would have gotten it. But you know what? She came in with a plan. She wowed my wife, who was in the interview with me, my district director, who was in the interview with me, and reminded me how special of a person that she was. And Jen likes to say, thank you for taking a chance on a single mom with a 4-year-old daughter at the time to come back to the Hill and be a part of this institution because it was her dream to lead an office. Well, she's got it all wrong once again, because I'm glad she took a chance on me as a new member of Congress who won by only 1,002 votes and came in and made sure that we built an office that was led under the same principles that we still lead it today. Work hard and be nice to people. And lead. This institution over the last 8.5 years has been made a lot better place because Jen Dalby was a part of it. I'm honored that she was my chief of staff for 6.5 years, or 6 years, and then has been running the House administration minority side for the House for the last 2.5. And there's not a single GOP staffer in this institution that does not know her name and has not been thankful for the information that she's been able to put out. She helped take the smallest committee in Congress, the House Administration Committee, and allowed us to lead on so many issues. Now, as she moves back into the private sector, I got to wish her well, but it's with a heavy heart to do so, because I can tell you there's not a more tenacious, there's not a more loyal, there's not a more dedicated person to making this House of Representatives to work for all of us as members of Congress, for every staff member like she and I used to be, or for every single American. Jen was here on the floor with us on January 6th. Jen was the first person I saw when I walked into my office after I watched my friends get shot on a baseball field. Jen was the first person I saw on day one as a member of Congress. She's a leader, she's a patriot, and she will always, always have my thanks, the thanks of the American people, the thanks of this institution, but most importantly, her favorite job is being a mom to that young daughter. And I wish her well in going back to be a mom to Reagan, but I'm always going to call you one of my best friends. And with that, Madam Speaker, I yield back.